to the deep dive. If you think about your kitchen, what object has the most, specific and maybe even emotionally charged language around it?
Yeah, you might think it's some fancy gadget, right?
Exactly. But today, we're actually cracking open something that seems incredibly simple, the humble egg.
That's right. And our source material for this deep dive, it looks like just a normal breakfast chat at first glance.
Just making some eggs.
Pretty much. But when you dig into how they're talking, it's just packed with this passive-aggressive vibe, some weird cultural stuff, and really, really precise cooking words.
Okay, so our mission then is clear. We're taking this intense little dialogue, someone getting properly upset because their breakfast wasn't, perfect, and we're pulling out all the definitions, the useful English phrases, any cultural bits we find.
Yeah, we want to show how the words around something as basic as an egg can actually be, well, surprisingly complicated.
And it's got some weight when the conversation literally starts with someone getting angry over breakfast.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of emotion, it raises the stakes immediately, doesn't it? We're not just learning cooking terms here. We're learning about, keeping the peace before 9 a.m.
Ah, right. I mean, people always say breakfast is the most important meal, but apparently if you mess up the yolk texture, it's a recipe for disaster.
Totally.
So let's start with the basics, though. The parts of the egg. Not because, people don't know them, but because the whole argument we saw, it really hinges on how cooked these two parts are.
Absolutely essential. If you're ordering, you got to know these. First up, the yolk.
The yellow bit.
The yellow bit in the middle, yeah. That's the rich part, the fatty bit. And whether it's liquid or not, that seems to be the source of all the joy and conflict.
Okay, and the other part?
The egg white. That's the clear stuff, mostly protein, that turns white and firm when you heat it.
Right. And the whole debate in our sources is basically, did the heat get far enough to cook the yolk hard, or did it stop just short, leaving that, lovely liquid center? Okay, got it. Yolk and white. But before we jump into the cooking, you mentioned the person who was unhappy. The word used was picky.
Yeah, picky. That came up in the source dialogue.
That's a really useful word. What does it really tell us about someone if they're described as picky?
Well, if someone's picky, it means they're just really hard to please, especially with things like food or small details.
Right.
They want everything just so perfect. And if there's even a tiny thing wrong, like, say, an egg boiled for 30 seconds too long, they get upset.
Right. So calling someone picky, it's not just about the food anymore, is it?
No, exactly. You're kind of commenting on their personality, their high standards. It definitely changes the tone of the conversation.
Sounds like hard work,
Yeah.
being picky. But yeah, good word to know. Now, sticking with the context, the sources also mentioned something about the household dynamic. The man was cooking.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, too. It mentioned the man was doing the cooking, and they referred to him as a house husband.
Okay, house husband.
Which is, a pretty common term these days. A married man who stays home, manages the house, does the chores, the cooking.
Right.
It just shows that even if traditional roles change, the demand for getting things just right and the frustration when it goes wrong, that still exists. Maybe even more so if you take pride in doing those jobs well.
Okay, so we've set the scene. The battleground is liquid yolk versus hard yolk. We know the personality type involved. How do we actually talk about this when we're ordering? I guess this is the cooking methods, the specific words. This is the main language takeaway, I think.
Definitely. Let's start with frying, because the words here are crucial. First, style. The one you absolutely need to know if you're ordering breakfast in English is sunny side up, sunny side up. And the name itself is kind of the clue, isn't it? Exactly. It's fried, yes, but only on one side. And the key thing, the yolk stays yellow, soft, a bit liquid, like a little sun. Precisely. It looks like a little sun staring up from the plate. So if you want that runny yolk from a fried egg, that's your phrase. Sunny side up.
Okay, but here's where I sometimes get confused. If I just say, can I have a fried egg, is that automatically sunny side up, or could I end up with something else?
Ah, good question. That's a potential pitfall. If you just ask for a fried egg, plain and simple, you might well get the other version.
Which is?
The fully cooked one, where it's cooked through, maybe flipped over so the yolk isn't liquid anymore. It gets hard.
Okay, so it becomes solid.
Yeah, hardens up. So to be absolutely sure and to avoid that breakfast argument we read about, always say sunny side up if you want it runny. Otherwise, you might get a firm yolk.
Got it. Specify sunny side up for runny. That's a key tip. Okay, let's switch to boiling. Here, it's all about timing, right? We have the socked boiled egg.
Right. For a soft-boiled egg, you're looking at boiling it for, say, maybe 3 to 4 minutes-ish.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah, not long. So the white gets cooked, it sets, but the yolk, only partly cooked. The middle stays wet, liquid, perfect for dipping things into.
And that's exactly what the picky person in the story didn't get.
Precisely. Their complaint was it was boiled too long. It had turned into the opposite.
The hard-boiled egg.
The hard-boiled egg. Cook it for longer, maybe 8-10 minutes, something like that, and the whole thing, white and yolk, gets hard, solid, firm like a ball.
Okay. Good for egg salad, maybe?
Great for salads, great for snacks, but yeah, not what you want if you were expecting a soft yolk for dipping. That could definitely cause some friction.
Right. And then there's the one method that just avoids the whole liquid versus solid debate entirely. Scrambled eggs.
Oh.
Yes. The great equalizer, as you called it. This one's simple. You just mix the yolk and the white together before you cook them.
Whisk them up. Yeah, whisk them up. Maybe add a bit of milk or butter, then cook it all in a pan. You end up with this nice, soft, yellow mixture. No distinct parts, no arguments about runny yolks.
Problem solved. Okay, fantastic. So we've got the key cooking words down. Now let's talk about how these things actually show up in culture. Because eggs aren't just food, are they? There's tradition involved.
Definitely. And one really charming example that came up in the source material, and it absolutely depends on getting that soft-boiled egg right, is the British thing. Eggs and soldiers.
Eggs and soldiers. I love this one. It's so specific. You need the soft-boiled egg served upright in a little egg cup, and then you cut toast into long, thin strips. Those are the soldiers.
And what do soldiers do?
They march. You dip them.
Exactly. You dip the toast soldiers right into that soft, lovely liquid yolk. The whole thing just doesn't work if the egg's hard-boiled.
Yeah.
It's a perfect little example of how food and language create this playful family ritual.
It really is. But then we jump from that sort of national tradition to something much more personal, almost weird. A family superstition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was quite something. One source mentioned this family rule, something you absolutely had to do after eating a boiled egg.
Okay.
After you've scooped all the egg out of the shell, you have to break the bottom of the shell, like smash it with your spoon.
Break the empty shell. Why on earth?
Well, the reason given was so that the fairies who live in your egg cup can come out.
Fairies.
Eh?
In the egg cup.
Apparently. It's like this little protection ritual, making sure you don't trap these mythical creatures in the leftover shell.
Wow.
It just shows how much belief and, ritual we can attach to the simplest things. Whether it's real or not doesn't matter, does it? Doing it keeps a family story going. That's actually brilliant, how a bit of broken shell carries all that meaning. And speaking of simple, practical things, there was also mention of a quick recipe someone made. Scrambling eggs with rice. Oh yeah, the ultimate fast food, basically. Take some leftover cooked rice, crack a couple eggs into the pan with it, scramble it all together.
Quick and easy.
Super quick. It was described as like poor man's food or quick man's food. It's just practical, filling, gets you protein and carbs in about 5 minutes. Shows how versatile eggs are when you just need something fast.
Okay, so we've covered the words, the cooking, the culture. Let's wrap up with those really useful English phrases that came out of that original dialogue. The bits that help with fluency beyond just ordering eggs.
Right. 2 good ones. The first is, I felt like gerund. This came up when the house husband was explaining why he was cooking.
Right. He said, I felt like baking. So the meaning is just, you have the desire to do something.
Exactly. You suddenly want to do something, you have an inclination. And the key thing for you, the listener, is the grammar. It needs that ing form of the verb after like. The gerund.
Yeah.
So I felt like baking. Or, it was sunny, so I felt like going for a walk. Or I felt like watching a movie. It's great for talking about those spontaneous urges or moods.
Yeah, it captures that feeling perfectly. Okay, what was the second phrase? It really fit the mood of the original argument.
Ah, yes. Drives me crazy.
Drives me crazy. Classic.
It's such a useful everyday phrase for expressing frustration. It means something makes you feel really angry or super annoyed, irritated. Just, pushed to the limit.
It's stronger than just annoying, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is like, I can't stand it level of feeling. The example given was a neighbor's dog barking all morning. That drives me crazy.
Right. I can relate to that one.
Yeah. It's a great way to show strong frustration without actually using maybe stronger or less polite words.
So you can use it for anything that really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
Traffic, waiting in lines.
Exactly. Traffic jams drive me crazy. People talking loudly on their phones drive me crazy. And as we learned from our source material, getting a hard-boiled egg when you wanted a soft one, apparently that drives some people absolutely crazy too.
Okay, so summing this all up, we started with what seemed like a simple argument about breakfast eggs.
And we've ended up with, well, quite a toolkit. half a dozen specific cooking terms, some key vocab about personality like picky and context like house husband, and then these two really useful phrases. I felt like doing something and it drives me crazy. And if you think about the bigger picture, it really shows the value of knowing the precise words for things. Those seemingly tiny differences, liquid yolk versus hard yolk, they carry real weight, don't they?
Yeah.
Culturally, conversationally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Being able to say exactly how you want your food, it's not just about vocabulary. It shows you understand the nuances, it shows fluency, maybe even a bit of cultural know-how.
And getting that precision is what we always aim for in these deep dives.
Yeah.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with, thinking about that picky idea.
Okay.
If someone can be so demanding, so specific about how a simple egg is cooked, needing just the right words, expecting a certain tradition, what does that suggest about all the other everyday things around us, like all the other foods?
That's a great point. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other